A woman adopts a shelter dog dismissed as useless. In just 48 hours, strange events begin to stir. This story defies every norm. The dog's eyes hint at secrets from a forgotten crime. This isn't merely a tale of love and loyalty. It's a mystery that will upend everything. Hold on as the shock unfolds, revealing a truth no one expected. In a quiet town where everyone knew each other's name, there lived a kind woman with a gentle heart. Her life was simple, and she found comfort in the small joys of everyday living. One rainy afternoon, as she walked past a local animal shelter, she noticed a sign that read, "Adopt a friend today." Something deep inside her stirred. She had always believed that every living being deserved a chance to show its true worth, no matter what others said about them. Inside the shelter, the air was filled with soft barks and gentle whimpers. The woman walked slowly, feeling the mix of hope and sorrow that filled the room. As she passed by a kennel den a long row, her eyes met with those of a dog whom many had called useless. The dog was a medium-sized creature with sad eyes and a quiet presence. There was something mysterious about him, a look that hinted at hidden stories and silent strength. The shelter staff had warned her that this dog had been overlooked many times. He had a rough past, and some said he was too troubled to be a good pet. But the woman saw more than just a troubled animal. She saw a soul that was waiting for someone to understand him, to give him the love he had always longed for. With a soft smile, she knelt beside him. He did not run away or bark loudly. Instead, he looked at her with a mix of fear and hope. That moment was the start of something unexpected. The woman filled out the adoption forms, feeling as if fate had led her to this dog. As she drove home with him, the weather began to clear, and a small ray of sunlight broke through the clouds. It was as if nature itself had approved of their new beginning. In her cozy living room, the dog slowly explored his new surroundings. Every step was cautious, yet filled with a quiet curiosity. The woman sat nearby, watching him with warm eyes and a heart full of compassion. Over the next few hours, the two began to settle into a gentle routine. The woman offered him food and water, and in return, the dog showed a subtle sign of trust by wagging his tail ever so slightly. The connection was fragile but real. The woman talked softly to him, telling him that he was safe now. In those early moments, there was no need for many words. Their silent bond said more than words ever could. As the evening grew deeper, the woman noticed little hints that something was not quite ordinary about her new companion. The dog would sometimes stare intently at corners of the room, as if he could see something unseen. At times, he would pause and listen to sounds that no one else could hear. Though these moments were brief, they filled the woman with a sense of wonder. It was as if he carried a secret that he could not yet share. The next morning, as the first light of dawn crept through the curtains, the woman woke up to find the dog sitting by the window. His eyes were fixed on the quiet street outside. In that still moment, the bond between them deepened. The woman realized that this was more than a simple act of adoption. It was the start of an adventure that would change her life. She felt both excitement and a small hint of worry, wondering about the mysteries that lay behind those thoughtful eyes. Over breakfast, while the woman sipped her tea, she gently petted the dog. He seemed to relax under her touch, his earlier caution giving way to a sense of belonging. She recalled the stories she had heard about animals who carried more than just their past with them. Many believed that some creatures had a way of sensing truths that humans could not see. That morning, as the dog rested by her side, she couldn't help but wonder if he might be one of those rare beings. As the day went on, the woman took the dog for a walk in the park. The fresh air and open space seemed to lift his spirits. Children laughed in the distance, and birds sang in the trees. For a short while, the dog appeared to be just another happy pet enjoying a simple outing. However, even in the bright sunlight, there was a quiet intensity in his gaze. He would pause now and then, sniffing the ground or looking around with careful eyes. It was clear that he was absorbing every detail of his surroundings, as if searching for something important. Back at home, the woman began to notice more odd behaviors. The The dog would sometimes wander to a small, old chest in the corner of the living room. He sat there, almost guarding it, and his eyes would follow the movement of the wind outside. When the woman asked herself what was about that chest, she could only guess that it held memories or secrets of the dog's past. But before she could dwell on it too long, the dog would quickly return to his peaceful slumber, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. In the quiet hours of the afternoon, as the woman tidied up the house, she found herself drawn to the dog's gentle presence. His loyalty was clear. He stayed close by, watching her every move, as if he were protecting her. Their day was filled with these small, quiet moments that built a strong bond between them. The woman felt as though she had discovered a friend who would stand by her side through all of life's ups and downs. While the world outside continued its daily routine, inside their little home, a deeper story was beginning to unfold. The dog's past, the shelter's whispers about his so-called uselessness, and his strange, silent behaviors all pointed to a mystery that was just starting to surface. Yet, in that moment, the woman chose to focus on the hope and the promise of a new beginning. She knew that love and loyalty could mend even the deepest of wounds, and she was determined to give this dog the life he deserved. The chapter of the adoption story closed with the woman and her new companion settling into an unspoken promise of trust. Little did they know that the events of the next day would begin to shake the very foundations of their peaceful lives. For now, their world was one of quiet understanding, warm glances, and the gentle pace of two souls meeting for the first time. The next morning, the air felt different, thick with a sense of quiet anticipation. The dog, who had been calm the day before, now moved with a purpose. He paced near the old chest in the living room, his eyes fixed on it as if it held secrets meant only for him. The woman, still absorbing the events of yesterday, couldn't help but feel that something important was about to happen. At breakfast, while she sipped her tea in silence, the dog's behavior grew even stranger. He kept glancing toward the chest and then towards a window where a soft light filtered in. His low, almost inaudible whines hinted that he was trying to tell her something. When she finally rose to investigate, the dog led her back to the chest. With trembling hands, she opened it once again. This time, tucked in a dark corner, she found a small, rusted key with a delicate engraving. It was worn by time, and its mysterious design stirred a deep, unspoken question in her heart. What door did this key open? The discovery set the tone for the rest of the day. As the woman examined the key, the dog stayed close, occasionally nudging the chest or staring intently at the door of another room. By mid-afternoon, a series of strange events began to pile up. Outside, as she took the dog for a walk in the park, he suddenly darted toward a narrow alley. There, half hidden by overgrown shrubs, lay a crumpled piece of paper. The paper, yellowed and fragile, bore half-burned words that hinted at secret meetings and lost treasures. The woman's pulse quickened as she picked it up, realizing that every clue was drawing her deeper into a mystery that seemed larger than both her and the dog. Back home, the atmosphere had shifted again. The living room, once a place of quiet comfort, now seemed to buzz with hidden energy. The dog's gaze wandered around the room as if searching for something unseen. Then, in a quiet moment, he led her to a dark corner behind a faded curtain. There, barely visible, lay an old photograph. It showed a group of people standing in front of a building that looked eerily similar to her own home. A man's face, partly hidden in shadow, caught her attention. The dog nudged the photograph, urging her to take a closer look. Each new clue, the key, the paper, the photograph, seemed connected, weaving together a tapestry of secrets from the past. Before moving deeper into these unfolding clues, take a moment if you're enjoying the twist so far. If you want to keep unearthing these hidden details and follow the trail of this strange mystery, now is the perfect time to stay tuned for what comes next. With the afternoon giving way to evening, the woman returned to the chest for another look. This time, she discovered a small diary tucked away in a hidden compartment. Its cover was worn, and the pages inside were filled with faded handwriting. The diary told a story of secret meetings, of love turned sour by betrayal, and a dark deed that had left scars on the community. Every line of the diary hinted that the key, and by extension, the dog, was part of something much larger than a simple adoption story. It was as if the dog had been guarding a piece of a dangerous past. As night fell, the house grew quiet except for the sound of the ticking clock. The woman sat at her small kitchen table, the diary and the letters from the chest spread before her. Each document added a layer of complexity to the mystery. The old diary mentioned names and dates that seemed to connect to events long buried in time. It spoke of hidden alliances and a secret that some people would do anything to keep hidden. The dog lay quietly at her feet, his eyes reflecting the faint light from the lamp. There was a calm intensity in his gaze now, one that suggested he knew more than he let on. A sudden, low growl from the dog shattered the quiet. It came from the far end of the room, where shadows seemed to dance in the dim light. The woman's heart raced as she followed his gaze. In the dark corner, she saw a small wooden box she had not noticed before. Carefully, she reached out and opened it. Inside lay a bundle of old letters, each marked with dates and names that sent shivers down her spine. The letters recounted secrets of long-held grudges and hidden treasures. They spoke of a group of people whose actions had left a mark on the town, a mark that was now coming to light. As she read, the weight of the mystery pressed on her. Every new piece of evidence deepened the puzzle. It became clear that the dog had not been a random choice for her to adopt. He was a silent guardian, a key keeper to secrets that many had tried to bury. Each letter, every scribbled note in the diary, pointed to a past filled with both beauty and betrayal. The quiet home she had come to love was now a stage for a drama that spanned decades. In a final twist of the evening, the dog moved to sit beside the box of letters, his eyes fixed on a spot across the room. There, a faint sound of shuffling paper echoed, a sound that made the hair on her arms stand on end. The house seemed to hold its breath as the mystery built to a fever pitch. Was this the moment when the truth would finally reveal itself? The key, the diary, the letters. They were all pieces of a puzzle that promised to uncover a story of love, loyalty, and a danger that had been lurking in the shadows. At that charged moment, everything paused. The home, the dog, and even the wind outside seemed to wait for the next revelation. The secrets hidden in those old letters and the silent strength of the dog all beckoned for the truth to emerge. This was a moment that demanded attention, a moment that would lead to answers, and perhaps to more questions. If you're as drawn into this mystery as we are, stay with us as we turn the page. Your curiosity is the key to unlocking what comes next in this unfolding story. The morning light broke gently over the quiet home, but the calm was short-lived. The events of the past days had built up to a point where the truth was too strong to hide. As the woman prepared for another day, the dog stirred from his sleep with an unusual urgency. His eyes were full of energy, and he nudged her gently, urging her to follow him. The dog led her through the hallways until they reached a wall that looked different from the others. Behind an old painting, the dog pawed at a loose brick. With cautious hands, she helped move the brick aside to reveal a small door she had never seen before. The door was old, with rusted hinges and a faded inscription that read, "The truth lies within." Her heart pounded as she slowly turned the handle. Inside, the room was dim and filled with shadows. The only light came from a broken window that let in a thin beam of morning sun. The walls were lined with old photographs, letters, and maps. In the center, on a dusty table, lay a sealed envelope bearing the same engraving as the key she had found days ago. With trembling hands, she broke the seal and unfolded a faded note that read, "In the name of love and betrayal, a secret must be kept until the day the truth is revealed." The note ended with a signature that was impossible to decipher. The dog, sitting close by, let out a low whine as if to remind her that the room held more secrets. She picked up the note and scanned the other items on the table. Among the scattered papers, she found a map of the town with several locations marked in red. One mark stood out, a forgotten graveyard on the edge of town, a place known for old legends and whispered tales of past sins. The connection between the note and the map quickened her pulse. Was this the hidden clue to a deadly mystery? The atmosphere in the room grew heavy as every piece of evidence began to fit together. The diary, the letters, the key, all were part of a puzzle that had been hidden for years. The woman realized that the dog was not a random pet, but a silent guardian of a secret that someone had fought hard to bury. The danger behind that secret now felt very real. As she examined the map closer, she noticed a small red mark near a cluster of ancient trees. The mark looked as if it was drawn in haste by someone desperate to leave a clue. With the dog by her side, she resolved to follow this lead. The quiet home, once a haven, now seemed too small to contain the mystery. Her heart pounded with both fear and determination as she prepared for the journey to the graveyard. Before stepping out, the woman paused to gather the note, the map, and several documents. The weight of these items, heavy with history, filled her with both dread and resolve. At that moment, the dog barked softly, drawing her attention to another corner of the room. Behind a dusty shelf, she discovered a small safe embedded in the wall. Its tarnished metal bore the same engraving as the key and the note. The sight of it sent a shiver down her spine. What could be hidden inside this safe? Retrieving the key she had safeguarded, she inserted it into the safe's lock. There was a soft click, and the safe swung open to reveal its contents, a bundle of documents wrapped in a time-worn cloth. The top document was a letter dated over 50 years ago. In plain language, it told the story of a secret meeting that ended in a violent act. The letter named several people and spoke a hidden treasure that had been cursed ever since. Though the words were simple, the message was clear. Someone had died for the secret, and others were willing to kill to keep it hidden. As she read the letter, the dog watched her with a look of quiet urgency. The mystery, which had begun with a so-called useless dog, was now a dangerous secret that threatened the life she once knew. The letter hinted at a betrayal that spanned generations, a secret that had poisoned many lives in the town. The more she learned, the clearer it became. Every clue in this hidden room was linked, and the danger was real. If you're as gripped by this mystery as we are, consider subscribing now to follow every twist of this incredible story. Your curiosity is the key to unlocking the secrets that lie ahead. The woman felt a mix of fear and determination as she pieced together the final parts of the puzzle. The old letter revealed that the deadly mystery was tied to a long-forgotten feud among families, a feud fueled by greed, betrayal, and vengeance. It spoke of a promise made in darkness and a treacherous secret that still echoed in the present day. With every new discovery, the weight of the past pressed closer, leaving little room for safety. Just as she began to understand the full scope of the danger, a loud noise startled her from behind. The dog growled sharply, his body stiff and ready to defend. The sound came from the front door, as if someone was trying to force their way in. With a racing heart, the woman moved toward the window and peered outside. In the shadows cast by the trees, she spotted a lone figure moving slowly. The figure was cloaked in darkness, making it hard to tell if it was friend or foe. Was it someone connected to the deadly secret, or an enemy determined to silence the truth? The dog barked again, this time louder and more insistent, as the figure inched closer to the house. The woman clutched the old letter tightly, her mind racing with fear and uncertainty. The door creaked open ever so slightly, and a cold draft filled the room. In that brief moment, time seemed to slow as she prepared for the worst. The dog positioned himself in front of her protectively. The atmosphere was thick with tension as the mystery reached its peak. The woman realized that the secret she had uncovered was far more dangerous than she had ever imagined. The hidden room, the safe, the old letter, all were parts of a past that refused to stay buried. And now, with an unknown figure at her door, the promise of answers was mixed with the threat of immediate peril. Before she could decide what to do next, the last sound that filled the room was a soft, ominous whisper, a warning that the story was far from over. The screen of her safe haven flickered as the shadow at the door shifted. in that final, heart-stopping moment. The future hung by a thread, and the next step in the mystery remained a terrifying question.